And Todd's right when he goes and says, look, the fundamental problem here with those protesters at LSU, he drove by and saw what was going on, is that they just do not want anybody to tell them what to do. And I think that's the fundamental issue. Jesus himself said, look, if anybody wants to obey the truth, then they will know that my word is the truth. Let me find that exact verse. It's in John, I think it's John 7:17 or 17:7, one or the other. Let me see if I can grab it. But it's a very profound observation that Jesus made. He said this, my teaching is not mine, but his who sent me. Listen to this, because Jesus says, look, the problem with people is not an intellectual problem. It is a moral problem. If somebody is not a Christian, it's not an intellectual issue. Their stumbling block is not intellectual. It is moral. It's a matter of self-will. Jesus says this, if anyone's will is to do God's will, he will know whether the teaching is from God or whether I am speaking on my own authority. So he says, if someone's will is to do God's will, that's what his desire is. Will is simply what you want to do or what you want to have happen. If your will, Jesus says, is to do God's will, that's what you want to do, then you will be able to see, Jesus says, that my teaching comes from God. So if somebody doesn't believe that the teaching of Jesus comes from God, that has one explanation for it, and that is this is someone who is not willing, does not want to do the will of God. Why wouldn't you want to do the will of God? Because you don't want anybody, including God, to tell you what to do. So don't let people fool you into thinking that the reason that people have problems with Christ or Christianity are intellectual in nature. They are not. They are moral in nature. Their resistance to the gospel is not predicated on intellectual difficulties with the Bible or the gospel of Christ or any of that. It simply has to do with somebody who does not want God or anybody else telling him what to do with his life.